Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Stamping with Susie Q, my Thursday night free class. I just want to welcome all of you. If you are a YouTube viewer that is watching this replay, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure that you make a comment in the comment section so that you can be entered into the drawing for the cards that we make this evening. Every week I make 2 cards, and then I will draw a name and give those cards away the following week. So we are just going to wait for a little bit for some people to join us, and I hope that everybody is staying healthy. We've had some beautiful weather in Missouri this week, nice and warm. It was very, very windy today. Hi, Karen. How are you? Glad that you could join us tonight. So we've got some really neat cards to make tonight. I'm going to use the Submarine Life out of the mini catalog, as well as the Stippled Rose Bundle out of the mini catalog. So 2 very different cards for tonight. And a couple of things as reminders. We have Coffee and Chat tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock here on Facebook. You're tired and sore, Karen. Oh, my goodness. You must have been working hard. I know about the tired part. It seems like everything I've done this week, it's been go to the doctors or see a doctor or something like that. I don't know. And dentist, they cancel my appointment and reschedule it. And gets me all messed up. So anyway, well, we're going to wait just a few more seconds here. I know that Pat was supposed to be coming on. I know that been working hard on the RV you are building. Oh, I didn't know you were building an RV. I guess I missed that conversation.
She's been doing this for years.
Oh, you've been doing this for years, Dorothy told me.
But
Okay.
she was doing it when we were doing classes at Aunt Cindy's classroom.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to get your RV built so that you can take it on the road. How fun. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into that remodeling stuff. That is very hard work. All right. So let me announce the winner from last week's cards. Hi, Cherie. I'm glad that you got on just in time because Cherie is our winner from last week's cards that we made. So congratulations, Cherie. Hi, Cindy. Everybody is doing well, I'm assuming. I know that I am working diligently on our Hello, Charlene. Super, excuse me, Super Stamping Sunday. So I'm excited about that. You're welcome, Cherie. I'll get those cards to you. So tonight we are going to make 2 very, very different cards. Look at all of this stuff that we have for just 1 card tonight. But it's really, really cute. And then I have another example to show you that I made. So we are going to be using the Submarine Life Bundle, which comes with the stamp set and this punch that is the submarine punch. I just had to get this since my husband was in the Navy and was a submariner for, or I guess it's a Submariner, I don't know how they pronounce it, for 13 years. So he was underwater during the Cold War era. Okay, and we also are going to be using a lot of different inks. We have Tahitian Tide and Parakeet Party, Sweet Sorbet, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, which are all the in colors that will be leaving us in the end of April. And then I'm also throwing in pumpkin pie. Or not pumpkin pie. It's a pie, but it's not pumpkin. It's pecan pie. So those are our colors that we're going to be using tonight. And let me show you the card that we're making. So this can be used for, oops, sorry, a birthday card. It can be used as a get well card. All right. So the stamp actually says floating by just to say hi. Well, I masked off that word hi because I didn't want it to say hi, but it's going to say happy birthday. And then it's got our little squid, whatever it is, octopus. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's a little sea creature. Okay, so that's going to be our card. So there's a lot of stamping to this. We have our base, which is thick basic white. That is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that is our base. We're going to burnish that real good. Have you ever had one of those days where the creative juices just aren't flowing? Yeah, that was me today. I could not get things moving in my head. Then I have a piece of the Tahitian Tide that is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to be our mat. So we'll go ahead and lay that down onto our card base. I think I had given Dorothy a task for our Sunday meetup, and she finished 2 cards before I even completed one, because my juices is just not flowing. They are now, but they weren't earlier. I guess because I guess I was just having too many things on my mind. I don't know. All right, so we'll just lay that down there on our base card. Okay, now we're going to do some stamping here on our basic white, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sand, which is at the bottom of the ocean. And I have so many stamps that I have to share blocks with it tonight. So all will need to be patient when I switch out the blocks. All right, so the first one that we're going to use is that pecan pie. And we are going to use that with our sand. And I'm going to do it straight with the full strength. And I'm going to stamp it just off the bottom of the paper because I don't want any white showing at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to clean this because I made a boo-boo when I made my example. I went and did straight on with my stamp off. Well, then I have a line, and that just wasn't going to work for me. So I did figure out I was going to have to stamp off first and then stamp my second layer of my sea bottom sand. So we'll stamp off that part. It's leaving me a little line. There we go. And now I'm just going to take and put that right over the top of that other one so that you have 2 different layers of sand. And that will get us started. So could y'all believe the wind today? Man, it just blew like crazy here.
Anna says hi.
Hi, Anna. I'm glad that you're joining us on YouTube tonight. I am not using my tablet to view YouTube, hoping that maybe I don't have too many devices going, taking up the bandwidth. So, and I figured out that I was not on the 5G with my computer. I had never got it changed over. So that might have been part of our problem last week. With my Tahitian Tide, I am now, I got to find my example so I see how far down I go. I'm using the Tahitian Tide to do my little waves, and I'm going to put them right about there. I had such a mess this morning. Your car was getting blown all over the road. I can imagine.
Anna wants to know, do you want her to go to Facebook?
If you want to, Anna, that's fine. That way I can see your comments since I'm not viewing YouTube. And there's a whole bunch of changes coming to Facebook, and I don't know. I've got to get things figured out with all these electronics, because now Facebook is no longer going to let you stream through a third party, which I guess is what StreamYard is. So I've got to figure out another way to do my videos, but that will just take time. All right, so then I did my little ocean waves here. Now I'm going to do my little seaweed, and that's going to be done in our parakeet party. And if you knew me in 2022, when these come out, or these colors came out, this one was not one of my favorites. I was not a fan of this. Hi, Anna. I'm so glad that you're joining us on Facebook. With the way they're changing things, I may have to go to the old way that I used to do it, which was record on Facebook and then upload it to YouTube. So we'll have to wait and see. There it is. So in this set, you have two different, oh my goodness. Did you chase after your Amazon box? Hi, Pat. I'm glad that you got on. So yeah, I bet it blew trash from across the road into my yard that now I have to clean up. So in this stamp set, these are all the stamps that you get. And so there's a lot of little different ones. So I'm going to be using the two different seaweed ones for two different purposes. So our parakeet party is going to be our seaweed that I'm going to put down over here on this side. And then I'm going to put another bunch of seaweed over here on the right side. And I just stamped, excuse me, I just stamped it right over my little sand. So that was, you can see it just a little bit, but seaweed grows up out of the sand. I am putting these away since I'm not going to be using them again, and I need the block. All right, so we've got those done. Now I'm going to come in with I'm not done with that one yet. I'm going to come in with my Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to stamp the, where is my little teeny tiny, there it is. I'm going to stamp my little fish in the Orchid Oasis. And let's see. I think I'm going to stamp him right down about here. So there's our little fish with his snorkel. I hope it was an empty box. I'd hate to lose an Amazon box. Amazon boxes always means there's goodies. Now I'm going to use the little crab, and he is so cute. And he's going to get stamped in our sweet sorbet. So I made this card really bright and colorful. I think it would be really cute for a child. But you know what? If you have those men in your lives that like the ocean and things, it can be really fun. Yes, Anna, when we get done with class, I will explain to you Zoom, and we can talk about that. So I'm going to put my little crab right down here like he's in the sand. So there's our little crab guy. Okay. Hi, Beverly. How could you possibly forget it was Thursday? Thursday always comes after Wednesday. Middle of the week. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our starry sky, and I have our little teeny tiny fishes. I just have to find them. There they are. our little teeny tiny fishes, and we are going to make them go behind. And there is a right and wrong way because they do have an eye, but I guess you could do them either direction. I'm going to put them right here behind the big one. And then I'm going to take one and go over here and go up kind of towards the top. And I'm just going to stamp 2 of them. So there's just a total of 5 of the little ones. Okay, so we got our little fishes. You wouldn't believe how many of these I almost lost today. All right, there's my happy birthday. I'm going to use that one first, or my greeting first. So like I said, this stamp says just, or floating by just to say hi. Well, I'm going to mark it off and get rid of that word hi. I need my Tahitian tide back, please.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Because I want to put birthday in on the inside. So it's just going to say floating by just to say. And we are going to stamp that in our Tahitian tide. Yes, Beverly, we were talking earlier that the wind was just horrible today. I mean, we were sitting in my stamp studio, and at one point it was howling so bad Daisy was scared because it blew the trees and stuff outside. Let's see if I can get this on here straight now. Okay, so I took off my tape so that my hi didn't show up. So there we go for that. This was just like a must-have card set or a stamp set for me, and I did want to demonstrate it just because it is so cute, and you can do it for so many different occasions. Just a hello, thinking of you card. All right, now let's see. Oh, I've got my birds, so I need my pumpkin pie back. I mean, my pecan pie. I have pumpkin pie on the brain, I tell you. Whoops, lost one. And here comes the dogs to investigate. This comes with a little bird stamp. And when I say little, I mean little, ladies. So we're going to put a little birdie up here in this corner. And we're going to put a little birdie right there. And we're going to put one right over here. So we have birds in the sky, fish in the sea. Wait till we make our submarine. All right. Because if I don't put these little teeny tiny stamps away, they will get misplaced on my desk. I am absolutely, positively sure of that. Oh, try walking against it. Yeah, I didn't go out. I just stayed on the porch when I went out. I didn't go out and walk anywhere except early this morning, and the wind wasn't too bad then. All right, so we've got everything except our water spray that comes out of our submarine. All right, so for our submarine, I know we don't have the Stamparatus anymore. However, for the punches, I find that the Stamparatus is the best thing to try to get everything lined up right. So I do apologize, but I tried and I worked and I worked, and I could not, for the life of me, get my stamps lined up. I think it was the way I was trying to look at them, and it just wasn't working for me. Okay, well, I know we left the Tahitian tied out. Where did I put it? Not Tahitian tied, that one. I wanted the green submarine with the parakeet party. So as you see, if you have a Stamparatus, one of the easiest ways to do your punches, your Build-A-Punches, is to punch it out so that you know where all of the pieces are in your punch. And I'll hold it up here to maybe you'll be able to see it better. So here's the submarine, here's the propeller, and then here's the scope. I don't remember what the real word of that is. Okay, so that's our periscope. That's what it is. So I've got it set up to where my submarine is going to stamp right in the center of, or right where it's supposed to be for my punch. So I'm going to ink it up with my Parakeet Party. And then I'm going to bring it back over, I'll put my glasses down, and hopefully I will get it matched up, because I laid my stamp in it first into my little grooves that I'd punched out, and you can kind of feel where it locks into place. Perfect. So there is our submarine. Now we're going to do our propeller and our periscope, and I did those in the pecan pie, and I'm going to do both of those at one time because they're both the same color, and those also should line up right there where I punched them out at. I know it's been a year, but sure wished we still had our Stamparatus because it was sure good to have. Okay, well, that little propeller did not get lined up, but that's okay because I have an extra one. I did an extra one just in case, and it was perfect. So I'm excited. I'll just use it so that it's a good propeller for us. So I don't have to worry about punching that one out. All right, then I'm just going to take off my, and I did put some adhesive on my mask. So I'll take that off. Set that aside. And now we're going to bring in our punch, and we are going to punch out our submarine. Now, I probably could have stamped my submarine again because I did miss just a tad bit of it, but I didn't want the green to become too greeny. So now I know that I have to put my paper all the way into the bottom of the punch and line up all my pieces. And I can't talk while I'm doing this because I have to concentrate. I know it sounds silly, doesn't it? And we're going to give it a good punch. So am I blurry tonight, ladies? I hope not. Nobody has said anything, so I'm really hoping that we're not blurry. Come on, give me my little...
You think Dad would make pumpkin custard for this weekend?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him. All right, and there is my propeller. And yeah, that good. I'm glad. I think it was a combination of things. I really do. I think that it was the combination that I was not on my 5G. I was only on my 2G, not realizing that, of course. And then, you know, if I did not have my head attached to my shoulders, there it is, peekaboo, there it is. I thought I'd lost my silicone mat, which I need.
That'd be the third time you've lost
I know.
Tonight.
I tell you what, if I will set something and it will be right here in front of me, and I will go to grab it and it's gone. And it's like, what happened to it? I just had it. And I do that all the time. So I'm going to lay my little periscope down here. That one's cut off a little bit too. And I do have another one that is perfect, or more so. So we're going to use it. But I did want to just show you how to stamp that. So I'm going to put my periscope there, and I'm going to put just a teeny tiny bit of glue at the bottom of that and watch it flip around on me. And then I'm going to put my submarine on top of that. So just that little tad of glue.
Dad said yes if we have evaporated milk.
Already thinking about food for the weekend. I don't know. So I am so excited, and most of you guys are coming to the Super Stamping Sunday. We are going to have fun because I'm telling you what, I have got some really cool ideas. There is going to be a contest between Team Dorothy and Team Sue, and you all are going to help choose the winners. Okay, so, you are totally excited. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my little submarine here, and I am putting his propeller on him, just like I did the periscope, just a little tad of glue, and putting my submarine right on the back of it, or on the top of it, on the back of it.
For Team Daisy, she doesn't get to play.
Team Daisy doesn't, she's not playing, she's not doing it. Although she would like to get in our laps while we're stamping, she can't do that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of lift or place and dry fit my submarine here, because I hope I'm covering something up, but that's okay. We might have to cover up just a little bit of our fish.
Let's cover the bird.
Yeah, we'll cover the bird up. We'll bring our, well, I still have to, you see, when I stamped it, I should have laid my submarine down first, and I didn't. But all right, because then I know that I want my water spray to come out about there, and that's going to be using the other seaweed stamp. And for that, I am going to use the Orchid Oasis. Nope. Starry Sky. And so I kind of know where he's going to go. And the ink will come off of my silicone mat, so I'm not worried about stamping off and getting it stuck on there. So we're going to pick him up, and we're going to put down our water spray, just like so. And so that I don't transfer any ink, we'll go ahead and wipe off that. So now we know there's our water spray. This is where our submarine is going to go. And we are using dimensionals to pop up our submarine. So let's get those on there. Come on now, don't be so stubborn with me tonight. And we might end up having to use, oh, I didn't want to put you there because I want, see if I can pick this one up. I tried to use, since I didn't have very much paper on my periscope and my propeller, I'm going to use little mini dots so that I can cover up where it joins to my submarine. So I'm just going to put one so that it hits both of those pieces of paper. My big one hit up there at the top for my periscope, so that's all right. Let's see, I don't have, yes, I do have one more big one on this. And now we're going to use our skeletons. Oh, I don't have to. I have one more big one. Then we'll put a skeleton in the middle. Whoops. All right. And I'll just put a small piece of skeleton there so that the middle of it is nice and popped up too. going to just remove all of our backings so I don't get stuck to it. Remove our little pieces of paper. And I do need a little mini or on both sides of my propeller so that they pop up, because we don't want them sagging. And up here for my periscope. And you just, it will fit. You just have to kind of finagle it to where it doesn't show on the sides. Okay. Pick that up, and now we are going to lay it down over our hiding that bird, covering up our little fishy here. And then we have our water spray coming out the back of our submarine. Now, before I lay this down, because I don't want to have to redo that if I mess up on the middle of the card, so we're going to go ahead and stamp our happy birthday. And I am stamping that in, what did I stamp it in? It doesn't really matter any of the colors that we've used. I think I used the Starry Sky. So we're going to stamp the happy birthday. And I love this font because it's just kind of fun and whimsical. So happy birthday. And then we're going to take our little octopus, squid, whatever he might be, and we're going to stamp him in that Starry Sky. And we're going to put him down here at the bottom. And there you have, the inside is done, and I don't have to redo it, which is awesome. Now we'll go ahead and attach our card front to the Tahitian Tide. Just like so. And you most definitely, if you wanted to, you could embellish this with, little beads or whatever. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to stamp another bird because it looks funny just having the two birds there. Since I covered up one with my periscope, he wasn't following the directions and not getting close to that periscope, so he kind of got hit when they surfaced. Dorothy loves to yell, dive, dive, dive. She does. Chuck watches all those submarine movies or whatever, and she'll go, dive, dive, dive. So we're going to add another little bird right over here. There we go. So that is card number 1. Isn't that cute? And I love the bright colors. So, of course, according to Miss Dorothy, we always have to use sparkle. So I am getting my Wink Stella pen. And we're just going to do a little bit. We're not going to color anything in that's totally. We're just going to kind of, like the little spray here on the back, we're going to give it some shine. So that'll kind of give a little sparkle to that. And you do want to clean off the brush before you go to another color, because you're liable to transfer colors. And speaking of colors, let's color up the pecan pie. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of swipe my brush over that propeller and over that periscope. And I think we'll give our little seaweed Because one thing also with when you add the Wink of Stella, it kind of brings out the colors more in the inks, I think anyway. So we got it on that. Let's see, let's do our little fish. We're not necessarily getting every little spot of them. And we're going to give our big fish here some definition. Little fish, little fish. That one almost got caught in the propeller. And we'll do our crab. I'm not going to do his legs because they're kind of tiny, but we've got his legs there, or his upper body. All right. Red is especially, any types of reds or purples really pick up and will stay on your Wink of Stella brush. So always be sure to, well, that is not the right cap. It will not fit on my Take Your Pick tool cap. I told you, ladies, my mind is like all over the place today. So there is our card. I hope you like that. So let me know what you think about that one. And give me just 1 second to get rid of these 20 stamps that I used tonight. And maybe my assistant will put them back in the stamp box for me so that I don't have to do quite so much cleanup, since I have several that I need to discuss Zoom with. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, then we will discuss it a little bit after the class. It'll still be recorded, but it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. People can stop the recording and not listen to our chit chat. All right, get that all moved out of the way. And I want to show you another card that I made. This was my first card that I made with the set today. And then I like it, but it was like, nah, I don't want to teach that because I made it into a Valentine's card. And not everybody has somebody in their lives that they could use a Valentine's card for. So put those away. There's my little birdie. Okay. If you've downloaded the app, then what I'm going to do, Charlene, which is great that you've downloaded it, when I get done with the meeting or with the class tonight, I'm going to create a Zoom room, and I know that Cindy needs to try it out, and I will send you the link as well, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that you'll be able to get into it that way. And Anna, you downloaded the app. Okay. I will invite you to the Zoom meeting that we have this evening. And basically all it is just to make sure that everybody can get into the Zoom so that when Sunday comes, all the issues, you got a new iPad, Cherie. Wow. Lucky you, a new iPad. Okay. So that card is finished. Now our second card. Oh, let me show you the first card that I made. This is the card that I made starting out. So I had the ink, and then I did it with the blues. Shh, don't tell anybody, but this is going to be Chuck's Valentine card. So I haven't finished it on the inside yet, but I put a little heart in the middle of the submarine window, and then I've got some dark blue colored hearts floating around in the sky. So this is going to be his.
3 hearts in the window.
Yeah, do not put 3 hearts in the windows because it kind of looks like a face and it looks kind of silly. So I had to take them off. So yeah, don't put three hearts in the windows because it looks kind of silly. So, all right. Our next card is so different than the first one. The next card, we are going to be using the Stippled Rose Bundle. And I wasn't sure how I was going to like this, but I kind of liked the way the roses looked. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get it. I absolutely love this because it's a stamp that I don't necessarily have to color. You can do it in one color and it looks gorgeous. So my card base is Blackberry Bliss, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I am, what?
I'm missing the wave.
You're missing the wave. There's the wave. I am using the in color dots on the front of the card. I am using the Thoughtful Expression shape dies because that's what I used for my greeting. And I'm also using a greeting from the Thoughtful Expressions. So let's get started on this card. And it's not a very tricky card. It's really easy. So I will show you the card and then we will get to stamping. All right, so I have 2 pieces of very vanilla, one that is going to be on the inside, and I guess I cut 2 to put on my inside. That's why I have an extra one. So this is the card that we're going to make. What do you think, ladies? Isn't that pretty? And this card could be used for birthdays. It could be used for sympathy cards. It could be used as a thank you card. Just any kind of greeting that you want, just a hello, thinking of you. One of my friends that lost her child 2 years ago, February was when he died. And so I just want to send her a card that I'm thinking about her. And this is part of the paper that comes from the free paper pack, the Stippled Roses, I believe is what it's called. Softly stippled. So this is the softly stippled paper. And I didn't want it to be a real big, bold paper. And I wanted to use wild wheat because I haven't used it a lot. So I just took the wild wheat paper that looks like a woven piece of linen. And I cut that down to the 5 1/4 by 4. So that's going to go on the front of our card. And we're going to just take some ribbon, and this is the wild wheat in color ribbon. And we're going to, and I moved my tape. No, I didn't use tape on this one. Okay, I'm just going to, and I cut off an awful lot of extra, but that's okay. I am just going to put on some seal and fold over my ribbon. And doing this in any color, I mean, it's gorgeous. I love it. And wild wheat is not one of my necessarily most favorite colors, but I think with this paper that looks like the linen, this card is just really pretty with that. So we will just get rid of that piece of scrap. We don't want it. All right, so we're going to set that piece aside. Now, I need your thoughts. So while I'm getting this stuff ready for stamping, you all can give your vote for this. I stamped this one in the Blackberry Bliss for my greeting, but I also stamped it in the wild wheat. So you tell me if you'd rather see it in the wild wheat or if you'd rather see it in the Blackberry Bliss. I hope I have that up close enough for you to see. We have such a time delay. Okay, so start putting in your votes for which color you want the greeting to be stamped in. And I'm going to get my paper and such to start our stamping. Ugh. Okay, so I am using the small rose, and I had to get the big block out for the rose, the big rose stamp. And I don't hardly ever use this, so it's really dirty. Yes, it would. Okay, we got one for Blackberry Bliss so far. I am using Blackberry Bliss ink for my flowers. And I am using the wild wheat if we choose it. And then I am using old olive for my leaves. Okay, so far it's Blackberry Bliss is winning. Now wait until I show you. This stamp is so easy to get all of that detail. I think I can get everything stamped on this one piece of Very Vanilla. I didn't want to use white because it was just too pow out there. So I opted to use the Very Vanilla to stamp on. And I have a little defective area here in my stamp, not from the company. It was defective because of the way I think I tried to pull a sticker off. So I'm going to lay my big stamp down and I am just going to leave it set there. You think the word should be an old olive, Karen? I never thought about that. I think I have an extra. In fact, I know I do. I have an extra. Oh, I thought I did, but I can die cut something. All right, so here is. Isn't that pretty? I just love the way that this flower does its own shading and everything. I just loved it. And I'm going to make a few more of these cards, believe me. I'm always needing sympathy cards, and then when I need them, I don't have them. And I do need some adult birthday cards. I just have a lot of cards I need to get made, and I just don't have time. I need about 14 more hours in my day. Anybody else need 14 hours in their day? 14 more hours, not just 14. All right, so there. Oh, I'm not done with that because I have to stamp my little flower. So here's a little flower that goes in it. So we'll stamp him up here in this corner. And then we're going to use our old olive for our leaves. And what's really kind of cool about this leaf stamp is you can see where there's two different leaves. You've got the smaller grouping and then you have a larger grouping. Well, you can stamp them both at the same time, die cut them, and then just kind of go around with your snips and snip off that area so that you've got that second set of leaves. The dies also have different leaves that you can die cut, but I like the stamped ones. I wanted to use stamps on this one. And because this is a bigger block, I'm going to just take my stamp pad to the block. And put that down. I'm going to do that again because I want 4 leaves. And so we'll do that one kind of like here. Make sure that it'll all be on for my die. Okay. Clean that off. Because like I said, ladies, earlier today, I had ink all over me. I ruined the front of a card because it got accidentally laid on top of a piece or a stamp pad. And it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's not working today. So I do want to keep this because I want to, I want to stamp one of those in the old olive as Karen suggested. And we'll die cut it at the same time I die cut the rest of these. So here's all the different things that come for the die cuts, we have the big flowers, and then we have the leaves. And it has a couple of other different leaves that you could cut out and some other little flowers that you can die cut. And then here's our little flower. And I need to get the die from the Thoughtful Expressions. Oh, I don't have to cut one. I've got one. I knew I had an extra one cut out. All I have to do is stamp that one in the old olive. So let's get him stamped, and then I can die cut everything. Remember, when you're using the stitch dies, make sure you've got the right side up so that it's showing that pretty stitching. Okay. I'm going to just stamp this now in the old olive to see what it looks like, because I'd never really considered the old olive as an option. But that looks pretty good too. So we'll just get the card done, and then y'all can vote on which color tag we should use. I am going to step away for just a second. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to go die cut these things. And I did try to cut the roses out of the paper, the designer paper. If they cut out from that, I have no idea how, because I couldn't get them to line up. So I've got a feeling that they're not really made to die cut the flowers. And so here's our leaves. The leaf is the only thing I'm going to have to put through twice. And I have to say that when I die cut these, they pretty well came out really even, which surprises me, because sometimes when I lay my dies down, I can never get them lined up 100%. And as I'm saying that now, I'm thinking, oh, don't jinx yourself, because you're liable not to be able to do it. Okay. All right, let me run this through the die machine. Talks amongst yourself. For our Super Stamping Sunday, y'all need to wear your favorite stamping shirt. The most comfortable stamping shirt that you have. For me, that would probably be my pajamas. But I guess 3 o'clock in the afternoon is either too late to be in your pajamas or B, too early to be in your pajamas. I might wear loungy pants, though, to be really comfortable.
Nobody will see you come down.
Oh, they'll see them if I get up and walk around. But all right, let's get these done, and I will cut out our other leaf. So there's one leaf. I'm anxious to try these flowers with the bubble bath. Oh, I'm with you, Charlene. PJs, man. My loungy pants. Comfy clothes. It's never too early for BJs. Man, Anna, that's my kind of thinking, let me tell you. If I had my choice, I would be doing videos in my pajamas. Did I tell you all, though, that I did a video in my pajamas one night? It was I had to do a video when I was leaving one of my training sessions, and I had just put it off and put it off, put it off. And so I thought, oh, you know what? Everything's quiet tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and do that video. Well, all you could see was my face. So, but when I told Dorothy that I did it in my pajamas, she said, oh, I can't believe that you did that. And I said, well, it was a pair of pajamas that looked like a shirt. I said, and you couldn't tell. So I can't say I never did a video in my pajamas, but it's not something that I make a habit of. It's
She's
Sunday,
fully clothed, so
I'm fully clothed tonight. See, I have my sleeves down. I'm just putting my tape up on my holder. All right, let me put these dies away, because besides the stamps getting lost, Seems like my dies seem to disappear. These are pretty good size, so I'm not too worried about those, but those tiny ones, oh my goodness. Tanya Williams Wall. No, Cherie, I do not go to Walmart in my pajamas or my loungy pants. That is one thing I do not do. I will not go to Walmart in anything but real clothes. All right, let me show you how simple this is now that I have everything die cut, because that's probably the most time consuming. I'm going to take my little snips and I'm going to cut around that stem on that leaf. So that I have 4 leaves. Yes, as I said that I had them really good and perfect in my dies. Yeah, this one wasn't so very perfect, but okay, so there are our dies. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay this down on my card base. I think I'm getting, well, I still got plenty of tape. Don't know why it's acting persnickety tonight. So I hope y'all are getting your snacks gathered up for Sunday. Because, oh my, once we start, y'all aren't going to want to go anywhere except at our little half times or our little timeouts for our breaks. So don't worry, you will get breaks. They're going to be our timeouts. And if somebody needs to call a timeout, they'll just have to put it in the chat. And we'll go to a timeout so that we can take potty breaks. All right, so now I've got that laid down. Y'all like this? I don't have a glare on my glass anymore. That was a hint from Cindy to put down a piece of vellum. So I'm going to designate one piece of vellum that when I'm doing my videos, I can still use my glass mat, but it's not got that glare. All right, we did use a lot of dimensionals for this one. So let me get my dimensionals out again. In fact, a brand new package almost. I've showed examples of them the last couple of weeks, Beverly. So I don't think, no, I probably won't be showing another picture before Sunday. But all you have to do is cut your designer series paper, and you don't really even have to do that if you don't want to. As we were putting one card today together, I realized that I've got a mismeasurement on card number 1. But it's what if you cut it at 1 7/8, you can still use it because it really only needs to be cut at 7/8 by 2 7/8, I think. So you do not have to cut any paper beforehand, because we're going to be cutting all of the card bases together so that we can fold them together. All right, so let's start putting on our dimensionals. Okay, so as far as prints go, you can use whatever kind of prints you want. I would recommend the small prints, not anything real big, and I'll give you some examples of that here in a minute. Dorothy, do you want to dig out some of the small print versus big print? Because you're not using a big piece of any one of the designer series papers. They're all in strips. So you don't want to have a real big design of paper, like I'm thinking flowers, and that kind of thing. All right, so this is going to be laid down here over my ribbon. So I kind of want to make sure that my ribbon can fit through, but I still want to have some dimensionals there in the center. So I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put another one up here. And that way I know that my ribbon, okay. So for example, this print would not be a real good print for any of the cards that we're making because the flowers are so big. And if we're only using like a 1-inch strip, you're going to lose a lot of what this paper looks like. Whereas if you use this print, which is a tiny all over print, you're going to be able to get most of that print and see that for the cards. Okay. This is another nice print. It's real small and it's not got any certain direction. So that's a real good thing to remember too, that if it is a directional paper, don't cut it yet. Wait until we're together and then I can explain it to you so that you don't have them cut diagonally and they need, not diagonally, horizontal and they need to go vertical. Okay. So I kind of put that on my sheet, but you may not have understood this. Now this piece here, this wouldn't be too bad because you have large and small print. So the small print would show when you would cut this at a 1-inch strip if that's what it was calling for. So does that help to answer your question, Beverly? All right, now to take off all of our little pieces of papers and stick those in my handy dandy little trash can. I think you guys are going to really like the cards. They've been fun to make, and I have used, Dorothy doesn't think so, only because she didn't understand things, and I have to get it back in my head. Where was I? Oh, yes, putting this down. Where's my original card?
Only because I didn't want to think outside the box today, and I had to
Right.
think outside the box.
Yes, and Cherie, that's a good idea, just to use junk paper or paper that you're not really fond of. If you've ever been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I will tell you this, that I have made a card or 2 cards. No, I've made 2 cards using Paper Pumpkin stuff because I've got all these old Paper Pumpkins. And it was like, I really like that. And that would look really cute on this card. So I am using some of the Paper Pumpkin embellishment. So if you have some old Paper Pumpkins that you don't know what to do with, and you're not really, there's like this one set that I wasn't really fond of to make cards. I wouldn't know who to send them to. No, Anna, you do not. You have to figure out all of your own stamp sets and dies. That's part of this, why it's not costing anything. I want you to use what you have in your stash. So whatever you want to use, you use whatever product you want for this class. Okay. So we're going to put a leaf here, but I'm going to cut it down just a bit more so that it doesn't stick out quite so much, because I do have a dimensional there. And this is just going to get laid down flat. Yeah, just use whatever paper you want. I'm using up a lot of discontinued paper and retired paper because I have so much of it. And it's just, to me, it's like, well, this is one way that I can show you how you can use old paper in a new way, that you can combine papers. So there's one of our leaves. Now we've got a little leaf that's over here, and we're going to cut off that little tip of it. And I can already, there we go. Now it'll stick down in there. I just got to get it so that it will. So I think it's going to be a really fun class. And if you all enjoy this class, then I may think of another Zoom class that we can do that will be free and it won't cost you anything. You'll be using your own supplies. Thank you, Anna. Okay, so there we've got that one. Now we've got this one here, and I'm going to cut this one down also because I don't need that great big stem. If I made a card that had something that I could use that big stem, I would, but this one doesn't need that. And I could cut this down some more, and I think maybe I will. I'll just cut this down a little bit more so that it doesn't have quite so much that I'm trying to stick up underneath those stamped ones. I really wished I was a floral designer because I think that would help me design my cards with flowers. Because Lord knows I am not a floral designer. I have put together floral things, but I never think they're really great. I mean, I made Dorothy's bouquets for her wedding. Yes, this would be a very pretty card for Mother's Day. I tend to stay away from making Mother's Day cards, primarily because I know that a lot of our gals that are in my class and come to my Thursday nights, they've all lost their moms, and so I don't really do per se Mother's Day cards. All right, so this is the time that we have to decide, everybody. This is the wild wheat. Okay.
I have a blackberry, a blackberry, a blackberry.
Right. So this is the wild wheat, which is kind of hard to see on the camera.
Old olive.
Here's the old olive, which is really kind of pretty, and it really stands out against that blackberry bliss.
I've got 5 for blackberry, 1 old olive, 1 wild wheat.
Okay. And then this is that's the blackberry. I think blackberry's got it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down my greeting because then I want to put my extra little rose kind of off to the side of this. And because I already have my flowers popped up on dimensionals, I don't need the top of my greeting popped up. I just need the bottom and the one side. Karen, you still like the old olive the best? Well, dear, I'm sorry, but you've been outvoted. Sorry about that. You'll just have to buy this set and make it your own way then, won't you, kiddo? All right, so this is going to get put down here, and I'm going to just put a little tab of glue across the top because this is where it's going to stick to our roses. All right, I'm just making sure that my dimensionals are, whoops, I need to bring it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's popped up, but it's not straight for one thing because I put it on crooked. There we go. All right, now we're coming to our little rose, and it's going to go where it's already got some dimensions. So I don't need to put dimensionals over the whole thing. I just need to put some dimensionals along this side, and I'm going to use the minis for that because those little leaves are kind of small. If I can get them out of my drawer, there they are. Have you ever just felt like you need to have a whole month where everything stops and you could clean your house and get everything organized and not have any interruptions? Yeah, that would not happen, will it? So I'm going to put one on this leaf here and another one on this leaf over here, and that should be able to pop it up. So we'll try it. Okay, and now I'm going to just put some glue on the back of this so that it will stick to that other flower that we've already got done. I know, Karen, time just needs to stop. You know, it's just, time is just going by so fast. All right, so there is our things done. I'm going to put our embellishments on there, and these are the in colors for $23.25. You know, I always say that when I leave on vacation, I want my house clean. Yeah, no, it didn't happen. So my set will be here the 15th when, I am not sure, Cherie. I know that they've been trying out different things. I didn't realize that they had gone to FedEx yet. So I don't know. I haven't had, my orders have been like in small bags, so they fit in my mailbox. But I didn't know that they'd been using FedEx. Okay. And because, oh, I got another leaf here. This leaf has to go over here under this flower. And I don't need one that's that big because he's going to get stuck. Yeah. He might get stuck. He may or may not, because I glued that, remember? How much? There we go. I can get him to fit. All right, so we're going to glue this guy down. Put just a little bit on the front of him so that he'll stick to that part of that rose. There we go. So there is that card, but of course we need to have Winkostella. And now what I did, and I don't know if you can tell, but by looking at both of these cards, can you see where I've used the Winkostella at and where I have not? You may not be able to see it on camera. I don't know. Okay. I only Winkostella'd around the center of the roses, kind of like the shaded parts of it, so that those would become more prominent. Because like I said, when you put the Winkostella on it, it kind of brings out a darker color in your ink. So all I did was just kind of follow around some of the, yeah, it's really hard to see on the camera. I just kind of followed around the darker areas of my roses and put the Winkostella on it. And I didn't put any on the leaves because I just kind of wanted those roses to stand out. And you know what they say, there is no two cards that are identical. And even if I try to make my cards on Thursday night exactly alike, I've always done something different in placement of flowers or something. So we're going to bring up this around his petals there a little bit. In person, this really, really is very, very pretty. And like I said, this card, depending, I mean, using the wild wheat colors, it could be a very nice sympathy card for a man or a woman who's lost their spouse or anybody. It could be a birthday card, a very elegant birthday card. So I am going to stamp just the inside of your card, and I'm going to stamp it with our little rose. And I'm going to stamp that in the Blackberry Bliss, if I can find it on my desk. Let's see. Where, oh, there it is. My dimensionals was hiding it. Is it pretty on TV? Well, thank you, Cherie. All right. So we're going to just put a little rose down here in the corner. Just like that. And again, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to darken up the outline of this card. And like I said, you can't really see it on camera, but I will, for those of you that are in my class on the third Fridays, I'll bring it so that you can see what it actually looks like, because it is really, really pretty. I love it. All right, let me get something to wipe off my pen with. Clean up this mess again that I have. Can you see it change as I do it? Yeah, it's really awesome. Anniversary, wedding cards, just you name it. This set could be used for so many different occasions. And that's why I thought, well, you know, I'm just going to put in there that you're in my thoughts today because of the person that I have in mind to send this card to. February is always a tough month for her now. And so it's, well, it is for their whole family. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to write a personal note inside of it and have it for them. So that will be on the inside for you to stamp your own greeting for whatever you would want. Retirement would be nice. All right, I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. Bring in our two cards, our two, one that is fun and one that is elegant. And now I want y'all to tell me which one is your favorite. One or two? Is one better than two? I'm an eye doctor. Or is two better than one? I always feel like whenever I go to the eye doctor and they ask me those questions, it's like, I can't tell a difference. Everybody so far is liking number two. I knew you all would. I knew that you guys would all pick number two as your favorite tonight. Of course, Karen, you would pick number two because of the florals. Yes. Yes. So it's probably unanimous tonight that number two is your favorite. But that's okay, because I had a lot of fun making number one. Because it's just kind of a fun, whimsical set for anybody that you know that can just have a good laugh. You know, if you knew somebody that was retiring, you could put floating by just to say happy retirement. Because a lot of people go to the beach. They retire to the beach, right? So, all right. So now give me a, if you want to be included on the Zoom meeting right after this, tell me so in the comments so that I know who I need to invite to the Zoom meeting to make sure that everybody's got Zoom downloaded and they're ready to go. I know Cindy McGee wants to be in the Zoom. Anna wants to be in the Zoom, and Charlene. Is that correct? Okay.
No, it's Charlene.
Charlene, Anna, and Cindy. Cherie, do you want to try Zoom on your new iPad? Okay.
What about Beverly?
Beverly, do you need to see about getting on Zoom? Okay, Karen, I figured you'd be good with it. So, Beverly, do you need to get on Zoom? Do you need to try it out, or have you been on your Zoom?
Okay, Beverly's good.
Okay. All right. That is not a problem. So I will give me about 10 minutes, ladies, and I will send you an email with the link to a Zoom room meeting. that we can gather in tonight. Okay. So like I said, it is 8:20 right now. Give me until about 8:40. That way I can get my desk cleaned off and get the meeting room set up and send out the emails for you. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, ladies, for watching tonight. I appreciate you coming in and talking with me and enjoying the cards. I hope that you will try to reproduce these cards. Congratulations again, Cherie, for winning last week's cards. And I hope to see a lot of you tomorrow on Coffee and Chat. I have a really, really cool sketch card to share with you tomorrow. It's very simple, easy, and it is really going to be a cool one. So we'll see you all next week on Thursday, and I will see a lot of you in about 10-15 minutes in the Zoom room. Bye.